it loading? Let's see. Okay, well, my link has since kapooied, it looks like, since I linked it in this presentation. So that's great. Let's see. Oh, the one with Sarah Silverman's good too. I did listen to that one. Let's see. This one's shorter though.
Now we can't hear it yet, Jade, and I think you'll have to enable
Share the sound.
sound. And you're muted now, but it is often on either the bottom panel or the top panel of my Zoom window.
Okay.
Right, so I think if you you have to stay unmuted to share your sound, and then when you go to the share, there's a little clickable box in the bottom left that says share sound.
Okay, got it. Got it. Share sound on. Okay, fabulous. Let's go back to the share screen and see.
Storytime family.
Is that better?
Today we have here A Tale of Two Beasts by Fiona Roberton. Let's have a look. A Tale of Two Beasts. The Strange Beast. Part 1. I was walking home from Grandma's house through the deep dark woods when I spied a strange little beast. He was stuck up a tree and whining sadly. Just like you, perhaps. So I decided to rescue him. I will call you Fang, I told him, and I wrapped him warmly up in my scarf and carried him safely home. I gave him a lovely bath and a gorgeous new hat and a jumper and a delicious bowl of fresh nuts. I made him a beautiful house and gave him Lord Rex to play with. I took him out for lots of long walkies to keep him fit and healthy. And I showed him off to all my friends who loved him nearly as much as I did. But for some strange reason, the little beast did not look very happy. In fact, he was looking rather hot. I hope he's not sick, I thought, and opened the window to cool him down. But then something terrible happened. He threw off his clothes and leapt out of the window. Oh no, and ran away as fast as he could, back to the deep dark woods. I wanted to go and look for him, but Mama had other plans. Tea time, bath time, bedtime, I couldn't sleep. I missed the little beast and wondered if I would ever see him again. But then a small furry shadow appeared at the foot of my bed. The strange little beast had returned. He seemed quite pleased to see me, and I began to think that maybe, just maybe, he wasn't that strange after all. I wonder why he came back. A Tale of Two Beasts, The Terrible Beast, Part 2. I was hanging from my favorite tree, singing happily to the birds when, hey, I was ambushed by a terrible beast. She growled at me and tied me up and carried me off to her secret lair. She made me disgustingly clean and dressed me up in the ridiculous hat and jumper and tried to make me eat squirrel food. She kept me in a tiny box with nothing for me to do and nowhere for me to hang from. She made me walk backwards and forwards and backwards again for no reason whatsoever. She showed me off to a herd of even wilder beasts who were just as terrible as she was. I had had enough, and I made a cunning plan and put it straight into action. Free once more, I raced back to the deep dark woods before the terrible beast could catch me. It was peaceful in the deep dark woods. A bit too peaceful, perhaps, and also a bit wet. In weather like this, one could do with a nice warm hat. I snuck back to retrieve it under cover of darkness. The terrible beast was waiting for me. She seemed quite pleased to see me, and I began to think that maybe, just maybe, she wasn't that terrible after all. D.
So that was that. Again, just a great little reminder, I think, of how families have different perspectives than our providers do when we're coming to do any services in the home. And so just to be mindful of that, because I think sometimes we're working so hard to do for these families and we have to pause and remember, is that what they need? Is that what they're asking for? What is their perspective? So that was ours.
That's great. Thank you, Jade. Uh, any feedback for Jade about her story? All right. I think it was terrific. Thank you.
Very creative as well. I'm impressed.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Patty.
Yeah, and you're getting some nice comments in the chat too. All right, we've got one more presentation, and this is going to be Oklahoma City C1. You ready to go, Sarah?
Yeah, so we're ready. So we had a little story that we came up with as well. Sally Dixon wrote this story for us, kind of about our nurses' experience or journey using Unite Us. So I'm going to
And
play
be sure to
that.
share the sound too.
Yes, I will. Okay. Can you guys see that? Hopefully.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good.
The Quest for Sooner Star Kingdom. Once upon a time there was a group of compassionate, nurturing nurses who loved to be around and care for precious babies and toddlers. They were very concerned about a small group of little ones who were falling behind in their development. The nurses would always try to connect these darlings with special providers, but sometimes the road to the connection was fraught with unforeseen delays, lack of clarity, and roadblocks. They thought, wouldn't it be awesome if the connection to Sooner Star Kingdom was made with the help of Ambassador Unite Us? There everyone could meet and share their information. The nurses set out on a course towards the Sooner Star Kingdom, but quickly realized they needed to contact the ambassador for guidance. They did not know where it was, or that you had to be granted special permission to engage with the Ambassador Unite Us. They sought out allies, acquaintances, and esteemed royalty who told them they must find Kayla, the magical fairy godmother. And lo, to their surprise, Godmother Kayla appeared to them as if she heard their calls for help. She granted them permission to access Ambassador Unite Us, but they must find their way. The nurses again set out on their course. One nurse said, "Should we follow the pink road as it surely will lead to Unite Us?" Another nurse said, "But I see a path that could be a shortcut." As the nurses discussed their dilemma, good Kayla sent down messages to help them on their journey. Some of the nurses received the messages, others did not. Chaos ensued. One group headed down the pink road, while others tried for shortcuts where they encountered dead ends, mud pits, and prickly briar patches. The pink road was not so easy either. While the road was nice, the group did not know it also included acorn-throwing squirrels, extreme weather, and iron gates. The groups realized they needed to talk with each other, and good Kayla gently reminded them they had the clues the whole time to get to the ambassador to reach Sooner Start Kingdom. The gentle, kind nurses realized they had all the pieces of the map, and if they followed the ambassador's guidance, they could reach the Great Kingdom. So they reviewed and reorganized to restart their journey. They decided one person, Princess Sarah, should lead. The new journey led them down the pink road. When the squirrels started throwing acorns as the weather was turning bad, good Kayla led Princess Sarah and the nurses to the path and helped them hide in the briar patch until things settled down. They returned to the pink road to finally reach the iron gates of Sooner Star Kingdom. With Ambassador Unite Us's help, the gates opened for the weary nurses. A sense of relief flooded them, for they could see the connections and referrals that lay in store for their precious babies and toddlers. The happy group also learned how important it is to share, communicate, and make plans with each other before taking on new adventures. And most importantly, one leader is better than several.
Okay, so that was ours.
All right, another terrific presentation. Thank you so much. Other feedback for Oklahoma City C1?
Amazing too.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. I had to ask her if, was that an AI generated voice because it was so perfectly narrated. And she said yes. So it's not like somebody has out there.
We actually thought about using our other supervisor, Daniela, her little boy, to read the story, but that was going to be a whole situation to get that done. So we used the AI voice instead. So
Yeah. If you would see if you can get that uploaded to YouTube in some way and send me a link to it, because we would like Kayla to be able to see that. And she must have had something come up because she's not in today's meeting. So thank you so much, Oklahoma City C1. That was terrific. All right. Now we're going to switch gears for just a bit, and David is going to do a presentation about some data that we've analyzed on referrals, and he's also going to be giving us a reminder of upcoming qualitative interviews.
Yes, well, presentation is a bit kind, especially following the tough acts here of these 4 programs. So I'm very impressed with the creativity and the quality of the work that you've done. I always have been in the past, but I said at the learning session that we were able to complete in January that I believe the old template is probably going to be thrown into the fire pit soon. So yeah, I think Amy and others, you're going to get a chance to do something similar at the next learning session and the one after that. And yeah, we very much enjoyed the quality of presentations we saw collectively across both today and the previous learning session. I am
Dr. Bart, for those that are not that creative, can we just do the same? The old fashioned?
You're welcome to use the old template or any other matter that conveys the story, yes, but I have heard from others indirectly that, boy, this was a lot of fun. Can we do this again? And the answer is a resounding yes. So we enjoyed it too. Okay. Am I sharing slides, Lisa, or are you?
I think you are, or Andrew is, because
I can do it. I can do it.
did you do an update, Andrew, on those slides?
I have not yet, no.
Okay.
Okay, let me put in presentation mode what I have. Okay, can you see a slide that says aggregate data?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, great. And again, presentation is too kind of a word here. This is really just a summary of what we have to date and where we like to be. Those two are not the same, sadly, but we are inching our way closer to where we hope to be. Many of you that were at the January learning session, a little bit has changed since then, but not a ton. No, I'm not sure how to move forward. Here we go. We as evaluators at OU are still, for the most part, resigned to working inside Unitas with their what they call their insight reporting application. You're seeing a screenshot of a report or a query that we can pull out of that data set. It's anonymized, fully anonymized, so we can't see what's happening at individual referral levels per se, but we can see at the agency level what is happening. This is for all the Sooner Start referrals to date, and I believe these slides were put together maybe a couple of weeks ago, so it's not exactly hot off the press, but it's fairly up to date. And you can see at that time we had 6 organizations that had sent referrals to Sooner Start as part of the innovation project. Those 6 entities are listed right below the number 6 there. You see referrals of the top 10 sending organizations. And they're all the folks that we anticipated seeing or finding in the system. You can sort of ignore the middle one because we have purposely forced this query to focus on Sooner Start only. You will notice, though, key point here, especially for those of you adopting PDSAs that involve Sooner Start for the first time, that it's the Sooner Start Innovation Grant placard inside Unitas that you ought to be searching for. At least if you want us to incorporate this in our data output, and we would like you to do it that way.
I'll add just real quick, David, you can utilize the tool we sent out that has all of the correct names for each organization, as well as the distractor names you might see in your search that you should not use. I think that's been circulated before by Lisa, but if you don't have it, let us know. We will be very happy to recirculate.
Oh, yes, even better. Great guidance there. Thank you. All right, and then the key metric on this slide is in the top right-hand corner there. You see the 25 referrals as of the time that this data was pulled had been sent to the Sooner Start Innovation Grant from these sending organizations. In the bottom left-hand side, you'll notice that 84% of those have been accepted to date. It says 4% rejected, but with 25 total, that's really just 1 referral that had been rejected so far. We have a few that are still being worked on, and you see that designated as being sent, and 1 that had been recalled. Same idea, but here for LASSO. Again, we see 6 organizations that have made referrals to LASSO to date. And in the top right-hand corner, you see that 41 in total. Bottom left-hand corner, you see the referral overview. We've got 32% that have been accepted, 32% that are in review. I believe that's 13 each. And then we do have this large category of sent, but not responded to yet. My understanding, and maybe Pilar can speak to this, is that many of these, they're being worked, but until we have the ROI in place, we can't share that information back in Unitas.
I'm not sure, but if it's sent like if it's pending an intake, I'm not sure if that falls into that category. I have a long list as of right now of incoming referrals that we have not done intakes because they have come in the last. We were down to 3 from dating from February 1st through last Thursday, but since last Thursday until now, we have received about 10 referrals. So that brought our total up to about 12 pending right now.
Okay, which is really close to the number that we had. Well, that's great that we've got a flurry of activity there. And yes, so I know for a fact, and you can see with 41 that have been processed today, that these are not escaping the LASSO radar. And it's great that we have calls like this, the rounding calls in between, and we have meetings with our liaisons to stay on top of those records. So those numbers will change fairly rapidly. Okay, speaking of numbers that will change, we hope, very rapidly. The numbers in front of you, I would not try to make a ton of sense out of them. I have trouble myself. We're bringing this in part from what you're logging in ETO, but then we're also comparing what we are able to see in Unite Us. And in addition to the Insight app for Unite Us, we are getting weekly data downloads now from the Unite Us team. Right now, most, if not all of that data concerns the Sooner Start program. We are waiting anxiously to receive the same information from Lasso. And
Yeah,
again,
we were supposed to get a data dump today, so Andrew might be able to, well, all of us could look to see if we are in fact getting that. That was coming early so that we could start working on getting particularly the information from the custom forms into our data warehouse where we can use that to create dashboards. It's supposed to start routinely being given to us on Monday.
you read my mind. Thank you, Lisa. So yes, today was the target date. So I hope that we have that waiting for us. And the next time you see a slide like this, we'll be able to add some better meaning to the number counts. The thing I did want this to sort of be a placeholder for is to acknowledge we are looking at consistency in the data that you provide in ETO and the data that we find in Unite Us. So I think starting this month even, we in the rounding calls started to rectify some of the discrepancies that we see in ETO and in Unite Us. So for those of you in that conversation, and for those of you that haven't had it yet, that'll be a regular agenda item for the rounding calls ahead. Okay, we are planning to show you when we do have cleaner data, month-to-month patterns of activity for referrals to Sooner Start, to Lasso, and to PCAP. So it'll look similar to what you see in front of you now, but we'll have more precise counts for those referrals. Another wish list item is to monitor the amount of time it takes to accept a referral. And once we do start receiving data from the customized forms, how long it takes to complete things like an intake or a family interview. Those dashboards and the screenshot in front of you is just a placeholder, but they'll be customized to the referral network partner and to the fields that are completed in that customization form. But we want to track timing, and so that's really the point I wanted to emphasize here. This is a longer list of the items, or the data items that we're hoping to amass, maybe even as early as later today, and then turn back to you in your weekly dashboards. So obviously the total number of referrals, which for the moment we can do at a high level for Lasso and Sooner Start, and we hope to be able to tell you more about each of those individual referrals momentarily. We're looking at those that are managed and closed within 30 days. That's a metric we hope to turn back to you routinely, as well as referrals that are either in action status or are pending a consent. On Sooner Start, or for Sooner Start, we'll look at the number of visits that are scheduled for intake and for family interviews, as well as the completion of those scheduled appointments, average number of days to completion. And we're hopeful to get some raw data on the number of days to completion for those intake and family interview appointments if we can, so that we can point out at a family level the ones that seem to be abnormally lengthy. Same thing basically mirrored for Lasso here. Number of event occurrences, the average number of days to an event occurrence. So initial interviews and services initiated are the two that we're paying closest attention to. PCAP's not depicted because we don't have that data just yet, but we're so pleased that we've got one group starting a PDSA during this action phase focused on that particular program. So we do have a wish list in mind for PCAP as well, although it didn't make the slide for January here. Okay, that's all I want to say about data for now, with a big to be continued emphasized here. And we'll continue to come back to this again with, we hope, more precise data the next time you hear from us in a group setting. I want to transition. I don't know if we have a slide for this or not. Lisa, do we?
No.
Okay. Just a quick plug, and Tabitha may step in here because she is leading this charge. We are collecting data directly from clients about their experiences with referrals. We're also hoping to hear from your providers. We could have sort of done some qualitative coding, I think, of the presentations today and the ones from January, but we're going to do it again in a more formal and structured setting. And again, Tabitha is going to lead a team through some qualitative interviews with providers from your agencies and with clients. So email notifications for that, if they haven't gone out already, they will be soon. Starting with, can you give us a list of providers who you think would be good spokespersons for your agency as we seek interviewees for those qualitative interviews? For the clients, we will be relying on the ETO case IDs for individuals that we know have been entered into Unite Us.
All right, that sounds good. Any questions for David? Oh, okay. Andrew also, he said that we will be updating these graphs, and you will be hearing from your analysts about a dashboard. I know it's too late for the first PDSA, but we do want to give you some feedback, and you may have already heard from your analyst with a dashboard, but that's going to be coming very soon to tell you what we see on our end of the ETO data and the Unitas data about your first PDSA. Now I'd like to pivot to the second presentation from the 4 agencies that were not able to have a learning session in January. Let's start with CAP Tulsa to talk about what they're doing now for the second action phase, and then what they will start doing beginning in the middle of May.
Hello again. I feel like really boring with my presentation after those like amazing and very creative presentation that the other teams did. But
well, we don't all have the time to put together the most amazing thing, but I'm sure that you've seen some inspiration now.
Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so yeah, definitely. I'm feeling inspired now. So for our for what we are doing right now, we're doing referrals to our PDSA is for PCAP that we are just started last week. So we have our idea is to, or our smart aim is to offer the PCAP services to all our families, and we want to reach at least 80% of those families that have any challenges with substance abuse are referred to Unite Us, and at least 25% of those that are referred get on board in the program. So what we're going to be seeing is the proportion, of course, the families that have any challenges with substance abuse, and the proportion of the families that have the substance abuse that are enrolled in PCAP. So what we are planning on doing, so we are going to plan our visits around offering the family the PAP handout, the effects of substance abuse, and so to open the conversation and talk a little bit about that. So we have the UNCOPE, and that's not included here, but we have the UNCOPE tool that we are going to be offering to the families to when we see that the family is is presenting challenges. So we are what we actually were going to be doing is we're going to go to when the family or the parent educator complete the PCG form and have those questions around alcohol and drugs. When they have any positive or check mark like on those items, they are going to bring out the UNCOPE and go from there. So that we expect that this is going to be a good opportunity to open the conversation about those challenges and offer the referral. And if the family accept the referral, we continue to do the referral tracking, and from that to do the referral to Unite Us. So I'm trying to go to the soonest start. Okay, this is the soonest start. So that's what we are doing right now. So we just started. We have a late start since we have that a little hiccup on the way, but we are running on that right now. Oh, and I forgot to tell that we also are using the eligibility chart that Liz gave us to make sure that the family is eligible before doing the referral to Unite Us. So this is for Soon Start. That's what we are planning on for our PDSA in May. So we are going to do a similar PDSA. So we are going to expect to 80% of the children that have an with an identified development concern will be referred to Soon Start using Unite Us, and we expect that at least 50% of those children will schedule at least a family interview, which is the starting of the process. So that's something that we will be able to track on Unite Us. So what we are planning on doing is using the ASQ as a way to see where the child is and see the score if they are below the oops, I forgot that word. The cutoff. If they are below the cutoff, they will be referred to Soon Start. The parent educators are going to be completing the referral tracking in ETO, and from there, Caroline and I will be making reports every other week to get those referrals submitted in Unite Us.
All right, very good. Thank you. Any questions for Ariana? All right, good job. Amy, would you like to present for Frontline Family Solutions? Not services, as I said earlier. I apologize.
Can you guys see the screen? Are we sharing
It's
it?
coming up. It says it started screen sharing. There we go.
All right. Well, this is going to touch on what we're doing right now. Our focus is on LASSO. Our goal is that 100% of families with identified need of legal services will be referred to LASSO using Unite Us before the end of our period, which is mid-May. We want to look at the percentage of clients with legal needs who are being referred to LASSO, through Unite Us, with our process being the percentage of families who complete the LASSO screening tool. The disturber that we are experiencing is having clients refusing the referral, and just a variety of reasons that they're refusing the referral when we've identified that they could use help via LASSO. So how we're doing this project is we are identifying a family in need based on a questionnaire which was developed by Tulsa Children's First. So shout out to you guys. We appreciate that. It was already ready for us to piggyback off of. And the LASSO brochures. We have a conversation during a home visit, and we can talk about the referral process. We'll talk about legal needs. If there is a agreement that they do want to seek those services out, we will go ahead and do that referral through our administrative assistant. She handles all of our uploading and communication with Unite Us. And then she's going to continue to monitor it monthly to make sure that referral is being followed through and tracking it. And then she reaches out to the PEs so that we can follow up after 2 visits, which is about a month, with that family to make sure those services are being started or received or wherever they're at in the process. And then after we finish the LASSO CQI project, we're going to jump into the PCAP, which is a little different for us. It's a very small part of our service area that can utilize the PCAP programs. So our Southern Cleveland McLean families that we serve, will participate in that here in Comanche County and Garvin County. We're kind of just gonna cheer on our PEs in that area, but we're gonna shoot for a goal of 75% being referred to PCAP for substance abuse services when there's that need identified during those home visits. Again, we're going to have that conversation and use the screening tool to follow the algorithm and make sure that they do qualify for PCAP, and then go ahead and send that referral once they agree to follow through with that referral process. So that's kind of where we are right now. We're just chugging along with LASSO right now.
All right, terrific. Any questions for Amy? Okay, thank you. Let's go to North Care. Jade?
We'll get this pulled up here.
Okay.
Okay, so I forgot how to do the. There's that mud in here. That's okay.
You can go to slideshow at the top if you want, in the middle.
Slideshow. And then from the beginning.
There you go.
Awesome. So yes, we are focusing on LASSO this round. Have been doing so. Our goal is to get 90% of LASSO referrals to receive legal aid assistance, and hopefully 90% of those will be accepted. Our outcome measures and process and disruptor things are here. So our outcome is that hopefully a percentage of those LASSO referrals through the Unitas platform, where the clients are going to receive help. That's our outcome. Our process is going to be deeming eligible service or deeming clients, if they're eligible. We're going to be using our screening tool for that. So making that percentage of referrals after we've identified who would be a good candidate for LASSO. And then a percentage of those families visited who require legal assistance, again, determining that through our home visits. Our disruptors we have forecasted to be just difficulty scheduling an appointment, inability to get LASSO, maybe to be able to contact the participant, the family changing their mind about wanting services, or just conflict of interest that has happened before in the past where somebody in the consumer's family is already being served by LASSO, and there's that conflict of interest there. So again, we're going to identify that need with that screening tool. It's been really helpful for us, and have a conversation with our clients about the referral, and let them know, like, we're here to hear what that situation is, get this passed along. It's not a guarantee that they'll get served through LASSO, but just at least gets them in and get them screened to see if they're eligible. We are getting our releases of information in place and getting those submitted to our agency. Once those are cleared, we upload that in our screening tool in the Unitas platform to complete that referral. And then I just keep my eye on it and make sure our providers are communicating with our consumers during our weekly visits, and making sure they're helping consumers connect and get those phone calls from LASSO so that they can get those intakes and things done. And then we will be focusing on PCAP after that. And that is where my presentation, oh, just kidding. We have our Smart Aim completed for that. So out of the clients with a positive, oh yes, we talked about using the UNCOPE screening tool. We're hoping that at least 30% of them will be able to be referred to the PCAP using our Unitas platform. And here, we're going to be using that screening tool to identify a need within that family. We have that wonderful graphic that I think, Lisa, you came up with that, our decision tree that we're going to be using when we're looking at potential clients to refer. And then having that conversation using motivational interviewing, since this does kind of relate to substance use, and trying to identify where our clients are at in that stage of change, and help us figure out if that's a good fit for making that referral. Okay, that's where my presentation is.
All right, great. Thank you, Jade. Any questions or comments for Jade? You got some praise in the chat you'll have to read. All right, now let's go to Sarah, Oklahoma City C1.
Okay, let me get this going here. Okay, so hopefully you guys can see that okay. Get into a little slideshow part here. All right, so for January to mid-May, so what we're working on right now is referrals to LASSO. And oh, hang on just one second. Not sure why it didn't advance. There it goes. So our smart aim with this is 85% of clients identified with legal concerns during the review period who agree to a referral are referred to LASSO via Unitas. And then our measures for that, the outcome is going to be the percentage of all clients having identified legal concerns who are referred to LASSO via Unitas. Our process is the percentage of all clients screened for legal concerns. And then the disruptors that we identified would be reasons that the screener couldn't be completed. And then also the number of clients who turned down the offer to be referred to LASSO. So details about this, we also will be utilizing the questionnaire that was developed by Tulsa C1. And so using the script based on the screener developed by Tulsa C1, we'll present it as another just normal type of questionnaire, and then provide the info about LASSO if they indicate a need for legal services. And then how to coordinate transfer of referral into Unitas. Nurse home visitors enter data into Unitas when the referral is made. And then the nurse home visitors will check Unitas periodically for updates, intervene with clients if needed for contacting them as a way to monitor and respond to those updates in Unitas. And then the project that we're going to be working on from late May to mid-September is looking at PCAP. So our smart aim with that is that 85% of clients willing to be referred to PCAP will receive a referral through Unitas. Details with this. So within C1, we utilize a health habits MIS form that's provided at different points throughout their time in the program. And so our plan is to utilize that basically for our assessment to see if they have any issues with substance use, that kind of thing. And so we are going to utilize a script, kind of write a script to guide the conversation about substance use. The script for the UNCOPE will be reviewed for guidance, even though we're not going to be using that, but we'll try to pull some pieces from that to create our own script to kind of introduce this information to the clients. So, and that's it for us.
All right, great. I like how you're modifying, all of you are modifying how you're going to approach it so that it best fits your own clientele and your goals. And I also am impressed with your awareness about how the stages of change are so important to the readiness of clients for specifically for something like PCAP. Any questions for Sarah? All right, I've got a couple of things to mention to you. You should have received the modified PCAP algorithm. I'm going to show it here. Thanks to one of you who pointed out down this side of the decision tree or algorithm, there wasn't anything said about the age of the parent. And in fact, PCAP only serves legal adults. And so all of them have to be 18 or older. So I could have put that question first before anything. And because if they aren't at least 18 and in the childbearing years, then they're not going to qualify. But that would have required, I wanted to push out this correction as fast as I could, and I didn't want to redraw this whole thing. And so I just put it here. You know, if you're coming down this side, the client is either pregnant or they had a baby less than 24 months ago. So they are in childbearing years, but they we did need to ask whether they were a legal adult. And so I wanted to make sure everyone was aware that PCAP only serves adults. Now, I had any questions about that or the algorithm? Okay, I also wanted to share a link with you. Pilar had emailed me this link, and I'm going to show it to you too. For this web page. Oh, you're welcome, Carolyn. This is the link. I'm dropping it into the chat where you can order pamphlets about Lasso. And so you just go down to this form, give the little information, and I'm not going to click through it, but it's just real simple to order some Lasso brochure or pamphlets that you can give to your clients. And so that's a great resource, and we appreciate Pilar providing us with that. Now, does anybody have any questions about anything we've covered today? Or anything that we discussed in the rounding calls? Okay. Oh, that's not about this. I write post-it notes to myself and put them here when I need to make that announcement in like rounding calls, and I was making sure I didn't have one for us. Okay. Well, if nobody has any announcements or questions, I think we can go ahead and wrap up. I sure appreciate your time today. Thank you so much. And we really appreciate all your engagement, particularly the analysts and our referral partners and the liaisons. So
over here, I was going to say something.
Yes, Andrew.
I just want to draw attention to the fact that the new items people requested for the phase 2 outcomes are now live on the Child Development PDSA Touchpoint on ETO. So those are up, they're live. Feel free to start using them. We hope to have them visible in available for dashboards in the future, in the very near future. When I checked a week ago, there wasn't any data in them yet because they had just been added. Just want to make sure everyone is aware that they're available, they're live, and you should feel free to start using them.
All right, great. Thank you for that important reminder. So if you were waiting for an announcement of or the availability, I mean, of your specific items needed for your PDSA, they are there. If you have any trouble with that, email me and your analyst or Andrew, and we will get you your answers. And thank you for Pippin, Andrew's cat, for making an appearance. He's an informal member of our evaluation team. He keeps us motivated. So, all right. Thanks, everybody. Have a good afternoon. Bye-bye.
Bye.